If you're trying to figure out how to make effective workflows for your organization and healthcare, I have the answer for you. Does your workday feel like this? Constant bottlenecks, missed deadlines, and a never-ending to-do list? You're not alone. This secret to getting more done, reducing stress, and boosting productivity is implementing the right workflows. And today, we're going to walk you through step by step on exactly how to do that. My name is Theo Harvey, and I'm a co-founder of remote care as a service company SensorMed. We have over 100 employees across the globe, and I'm here to implement and talk to you about how to make your work and life easier, especially in the healthcare space. So if you're looking to streamline your work processes, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, because today we're diving deep into the art of workflow implementation. So workflow is a series of steps that need to be completed to achieve a specific goal. Think of it as a roadmap for your work, where you manage projects, onboarding employees, and running a business to ensure a good workflow is consistent, efficient, and you have accountability. For instance, when I run my company, I have to make sure that while we built the business, that we have workflows that can scale easily, that are consistent, so we can share across nationalities and different languages. And it has to be efficient. So that means it has to be a way where I can send it quickly and easily to all my different employees across the globe. So why should you care about workflows, especially in healthcare? Well, there are three major reasons. Number one, increase efficiency. Automating repetitive tasks free up valuable time. This is a fact. How many times are you constantly doing the same thing over and over again, but different ways? If there's a way you can just simplify that and then making sure you don't have to think about it. It's almost like a habit. Think of workflows like a habit. You build it over time, and then over time, those habits build you, just like workflows. So you want to be efficient, getting things done quickly, because you only have a limited amount of time to work through that process. Second, is better accountability. Everyone knows their role, and it just reduces confusion. Think about it. If you have simplicity, people know exactly what they need to do. There's not a lot of work or mental cognitive load. That's a big psychological term, in other words, that says how people kind of process information. So you want to keep it simple, where it's simple tasks, steps, list that make people understand exactly what they need to do to accomplish certain goals and responsibilities. Finally, scalable. As your business grows, especially your medical practice, workflows ensure everything runs smoothly. And basically, you want to make sure it's something that if 2 people use it, or if 100 people use it, you want to make sure it can fit any organization effectively and clearly. Now, let's break down exactly how to implement a healthcare workflow that works specifically for you and your healthcare organization. First, you want to identify the process. You want to map out the workflow. You want to assign roles and responsibilities. You want to automate where possible, and you want to test and optimize. So let's talk a little bit about each one. First, let's talk about identify the process. Ask yourself, what tasks or processes do I want to streamline? Maybe it's content creation. Maybe it's employee onboarding. Maybe it's EMR effective usage. Pick one to start. It's so important to identify the process that you want to go after. In healthcare, 9 times out of 10, it usually has to deal with using these EMRs more effectively. They're talking to patients all the time. And then when you're talking to a patient, you really don't want to go down and take your eye off the patient and type into some computer. So how can you make that more efficient? For instance, having workflows where the nursing or the front desk staff put a lot of information in, so the doctor can have it a simple tablet. They can see the quick information, and then they can have eye contact with the patient. You want to identify processes where you can have the most meaningful impact. What's going to move the needle the most? You don't want to pick processes that are really not going to affect your bottom line or patient care. So you want to pick ones that really are effective in moving the needle for you. Next, you want to map out the workflow. So break down the process into key steps. Think of it like a recipe. What ingredients and actions are needed? I like to think of healthcare, we always are focused on lists, right? But those lists can have a hierarchy to it, right? Certain things at top are important, but the other things at the bottom should all fit into that hierarchy, right? So for instance, let's say an example is you need to buy spaghetti sauce at the grocery store. The overarching workflow is, getting to the grocery store. In that, there's steps into that. First, you have to get dressed. Then you have to put your shoes on. Then you have to remember to have your keys. Then you have to make sure you're in your car. Check if you have enough gas. As you can see, there's a bunch of different steps that go into the overarching opportunity where you're trying to get spaghetti sauce at the grocery store. Likewise, in healthcare, you will have similar map out the workflow into these intricate steps so you know exactly what pieces make sense. And they all should fit as a whole, right? If you were able to kind of think of a nesting doll, right, where you have these different pieces that fit inside a bigger piece, like a Russian nesting doll. So you have a bigger resting nesting doll. You pick that out. There's another nesting doll inside of it. You pick that up. There's a smaller one inside that one. And they should all fit on top of each other. So it looks as a piece from a high standpoint. Hopefully that gives you a good visual of what kind of processes you should put together as you build it out. Next, you want to assign roles and responsibilities. Who does what? Clear define responsibilities and eliminate any bottlenecks. Think of it like if you have these tasks, right? Now you need to figure out who best to accomplish that task. Individuals have different skill sets. Some individuals are very good technically, so maybe a lot of the technical tasks. For instance, if we go back to our EMR example, maybe the ones who understand EMRs more effectively are the ones who can go in there and set up certain task lists for individuals. Maybe there's people who are better, especially your clinical staff, who are better with people. So maybe they should be frontline, handle tasks that deal with patient interaction and communication. Maybe there are people who are great in the written word. So maybe those are the ones who send out tasks for text reminders and things to that nature for the patient population. So making sure you assign roles and responsibilities and having the right people in the right seat based on their skill, their interest, that's so important when you're trying to create most effective workflows. Next, this is the secret sauce to everything, is automate where possible. You can use automation tools. For instance, there's things in EMRs that make automation a lot easier. We use things like Zapier that are able to integrate different tool sets together so we can send out communication channels to our partners and to our customers. But the goal is to eliminate manual work and save time for tasks that you are repetitive, right? They're done over and over again. Is there a way you can systemize it so that you don't have to do the same things over and over again? This is so key because also with the coming of artificial intelligence or AI, we're seeing more and more automation being placed inside these tools. One big thing is AI scribes, the ability to record when you're talking to a patient and put into clinical notes so that you don't have to type that in, using verbal information, putting that into the notes, and then make it easy to search. That can automate so many different tasks, from writing down tasks to searching for the right information, but basically taking 20 different separate tasks into 2 tasks, talking and searching. This makes life and workflow a lot easier for physicians and clinicians as they go about their day-to-day journey. Next, you want to test and optimize. It's so important to run a test, gather feedback, and tweak your workflow for better efficiency. Workflows evolve over time, so you have to keep optimizing. For instance, we have a system process where we reach out to patients who want to be a part of our remote patient monitoring programs. Our nurses not only do calls to make the patients, but we have a separate workflow. If a patient does call back, we found that we were dropping roughly about 40-50% of patients who were calling back. So we missed that time with the patient to communicate with them and help them through their journey. So we're able to kind of guide them in that pathway and help them as we were moving forward, because that was so important. So we reduced that high percentage down to 10% by implementing a workflow where our nurses, we had a clinical staff member that was on standby. So if the patient called back, someone was there to respond to immediately, and that would count for that time with that patient to meet the qualifications and to meet the requirements for medical billing and for clinical note taking. And so that is so important that you create processes and test them and then optimize them to make it more and more efficient so that you get better. The overall task is making sure our clinicians talk to patients remotely every month. So we were able to optimize that by ensuring we have a process in place that someone would be able to take those callbacks from patients so we don't miss any patients that want to communicate with us. Next, you want to look at tools that you can utilize to make everything more efficient, right? So project management tools are so important. Some of them we talk about Asana. We use Jira, which is so important for us. But in your EMR, they have project task tool. More specifically, your project management tools or practice management tools, have a lot of these resources that you can utilize most effectively. Automation is so key of AI, communication using Microsoft Zoom, Microsoft Teams, things like that can help you be more efficient. Finally, let's take a real world example. We can talk about how healthcare can really understand and implement this. We talked about several examples in our day to day and how we kind of utilize effective ways to communicate to our patients and change and optimize our workflows to make sure we have better ways to communicate with patients and ensure they stay integrated and combined and engaged with our platform for year round. And that's so important. You also want to make sure you avoid common mistakes. So don't make these workflow issues overcomplicating the process. You want to keep it simple. If there's no clear ownership of who owns what task, you want to make sure everyone knows their roles and responsibilities. Failing to adapt, that's so key. If your team members are not ready, they don't buy into the total vision, that's so important that you make sure they buy into that and are ready and prepared to move forward in the organization. Finally, some closing ideas and thoughts. What we want to talk about is this is something that's so key. This is a step-to-step guide to implementing workflows that actually work. We've implemented in our business, our remote business, our global business. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe from over at Productivity Tips, and let us know in the comments, what's the one workflow that you're going to implement today inside your healthcare organization? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.